are fighting us that are fighting the party. It is for us. It's not going to be easy. From day one, I said it's not going to be an easy fight. They're trying to remove all those who have lived off this confusion for years. They're not going to go away laughing. They're going to fight back. It will take time. Whatever happens, we must stay the course because we want to build a new Nigeria. We want a Nigeria where Nigerians will be proud to say they're Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian, committed Nigeria. I don't have any dual nationality. So this is my own country. And I've said it that even if there's war outside this country, if I'm outside, I'll come back because it's my country. So I'm committed to it and I want them to be committed for it. It is those people that are fighting us collectively who win.
The political party called Labour Party has been embroiled in the leadership situation where the chairman, the national chairman, was suspended by his ward. There are court cases around that, issues, allegations of forgery. It's as if there's a leadership tussle. The NWC met, appointed a new chairman, all of that. Is it true? Is it not true? What is the problem in the Labour Party? What's causing the issues in the leadership of the Labour Party? You heard the party's presidential candidate there, Mr. Peter Obi, talking about the situation, and in his words, it is those fighting us that are fighting the party, but we will not give up because we want to build a new Nigeria. Those were his words. But to help us understand and speak to the issues in the Labour Party and the political space, we're joined by Dr. Osuntokun, DG, Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And real quick, let's ask you, what is your view of the situation in Adama, the imbroglio that happened on Sunday after the supplementary elections?
No, well, my opinion of it is that it is the rule, rather than the exception. It is not an aberration. It just happens that they were more reckless this time, They were more daring in perpetrating the kind of things that man did. And of course, you know that if he has the sense that he will be punished or that what he is doing is not legitimate and that his immediate bosses in Abuja would take a stand view of it, he wouldn't do it. He did it in the assumption that, look, this is a culture. This is a culture in INEC. So why don't I do it? There is no way you could have taken that kind of extraordinary step without the implicit belief that by the standards of the contemporary INEC that we have, it is okay to do so.
So you also saw the swift reaction from the INEC?
That's for sure. That's a show. It's a show. Look, recall that the chairman of INEC, and again, I think the public commissioner, Festus Okoye, go and see the video clips of what he said 2, 3 months, 4 months ago, and they reconcile it with what has happened now since February 25. Are those the kind of people, do they strike you as those who stick for, what is right and proper?
Since you mentioned February 25, let's go to February 25 and your political party, the Labour Party, for instance. After February 25, it's as though your party began to shake from within. The national chairman gets a suspension from his ward. There are court cases, allegations, and some of your party members come here to say some documents were forged, signatures were forged, especially to replace candidates in Ebonyi. What's going on in the Labour Party?
There's nothing going on there other than the crisis of the judiciary.
Crisis of the judiciary exactly. In the Labour Party?
Yes, please.
Is the judiciary...
Just wait. Okay. You should ask me to clarify my position.
Please do.
It is a judge, a judiciary, that made a judgment that is now responsible for creating a crisis in the Labour Party. There was a judge here who, in his discretion, said that Abure, who was the chairman for the primaries of the presidential candidate, for the governorship for the States of Assembly, a judge thereafter gave a judgment that that chairman should no longer parade himself as a chairman. What do you make of that? And look at how and who brought the case to him. The judge is a Nigerian, he reads newspapers like the rest of us. He could have made a more, take a more logical position. It has his discretion on what was brought before him. How do you explain that? The vice chairman of a party, some people with a party, right, does it mean that if a clerk, in the Labour Party brings a complaint before you, that this is the case, or whatever it is, right? That you are going to, you can give a judgment on the basis of that, that the party chairman should no longer parade himself. But again, it speaks for itself, as I said. Look, judges have discretion in what to do, what is right and proper. Here we have now come to see that judges in Nigeria, they rely more on technicalities, evasive tactics, scapegoatism to take position, but very crucial position. It was the judge who gave the judgment that is causing the crisis right now.
So you said something
what
about...
judgment, sorry, what
there was a judge here who said...
What judgment are you saying is causing the crisis?
The judgment was that the Abure, the chairman, the extant chairman, should stop parading himself as the chairman of the party.
Yes.
That was immediate.
On what basis was that judgment given? And who were those who approached the judge for that?
You shouldn't be asking me that. You know it. There was the vice chairman of the people who have been trying to subvert the party. Let me tell you what one of them said after the convention, the meeting in Abuja yesterday. He said the presidential candidate, now he has descended on the presidential candidate. That is no longer legal. It's not, subverting the candidate of his own, purportedly of his own party. So it has gotten to that stage. So you look at their motives. What are your motives? If you are interested in the good prospect of the party, as any official, is this what you should be doing at this time?
So what I'm looking at is the fact that, judges don't just give judgment in a vacuum or grant anything in a vacuum. People bring cases before judges and they grant whatever it is that they grant, even if it's based on technicality, based on what is presented before them. Now, we've had members of your political party, the Labour Party, here in our studio. First, we had them on what was causing the division within the Labour Party. Some of them had two different scenarios. One was on the suspension of the chairman from his ward unit. They've since dismissed that. Even from within the party, they say they're not really focusing on that. That what they're focusing on is a matter that borders on forgery, a criminal matter. And as a result of the investigation which they're about to carry out on the national chairman, they've approached the courts to ask him to step aside, because you cannot be a judge in your own matter. You cannot preside whilst you are, being investigated. And that's all that they've asked for.
Not at all. It's not a matter of presiding. He has done so, if you want to use that analogy. I was appointed by the state. He and me made the announcement of my appointment. He has acted the position, de facto, almost 1 year. And we are saying that, look, judges have options. You could have said, okay, let him remain and go on. We can still go on with the court proceedings while he remains. There's nothing that says that you must now tell him to step aside. No, there's another option. And that is fact, wait until you are able to determine whether the issue that was brought with you was correct, whatever the judgment you want to give. You have that option, but he has decided to go for the one that will introduce crisis to the party.
No, but whilst that is, subsisting, whether or not he steps aside, because according to them, that is a subsisting court order that he steps aside. Has your party, I mean, have other people within, just to confirm that you are a member of the Labour Party, did you join the Labour Party?
Yes, I don't know why you are bringing
no, just confirm, because there are people who supported the Labour Party but were not members of the Labour Party. That's why I'm confirming that. Looking at the judgment, I mean, looking at what has happened or the allegations that are being brought before the chairman, is it brought against the chairman? Is it something that you are concerned about and something that you think that internally can be investigated if a thorough job is done?
Listen, look, it's not a matter of, look at the logic. You know, judiciary is referred to as the last arbiter, you know, of the common man, expected to dispense justice. Look, law is defined as reason unaffected by desire. Now, if that is what law says, in your own belief, what is more reasonable for a judge, you know, to whom this matter is brought before? Is it more reasonable or logical to ask a chairman that has acted that position up till now, right, to step aside from his position, knowing fully well the consequences that will flow from that? Those who brought the judgment, they are mischief. They are looking for a way, an opening, to introduce their mischief. If the judge now comes, and he should know that, I don't know what purpose it serves the interest of justice and the interest of the stability of the party and that of the Nigerian police, for you to say that the man should now start. The only beneficiary of that judgment are those who brought what they are doing now, and that is subversion. By the way, it's of course it is instigated.
I'm not clear on this. Are you saying that a judge should be more concerned about the stability of a political party than, you know, looking at the matter before him?
No, look. Let me say what I've said, but I think it's so simple. A judge has a discretion to determine what he wants to do. He has the option of going ahead with the proceedings, leaving the chairman there, right? There's nothing that bars him from taking that position. Whose interest is being served by telling the judge, the chairman, to stand up, to stop parading himself? Who?
Mr. Osuntokun.
As I said, he has the option, which is, to me, is more logical to take than this one. Now, okay, let us go on. We are going on with the court proceedings.
We're talking about a criminal matter here.
It's not I don't know. Don't let me. You are putting it's just sub judice. No. So you cannot conclude that it's a criminal matter. I hope you know that.
So that is the problem. So if we cannot even agree on what the issue is. The allegation being brought against the national chairman of your party is criminal in nature. You don't agree that a matter of forgery is criminal in nature?
It's not. Look. You are now acting like the judge itself, giving interpretations to suit a predetermined conclusion, right? It is not for me to determine whether it is criminal or not, and it's not for you either. And it has not been determined. At this stage, it's an allegation. It's a complaint before the court. It has not been determined one way or the other, right? And how, for instance, does the other option of letting the chairman be, how does that obstruct you from proceeding you want to proceed? You already have all the evidences before you. So the chairman is not in a position to subvert or muddy the water or do anything about what the case that is before you. Not at all. But you chose an option of which any reasonable person will know that you are setting this party up for crisis. And that is what has happened.
Dr. Shukron, let me come in here a bit. Let's look at this court situation. So the High Court here in Abuja says the chairman should step aside and stop parading himself. It's an ex parte motion, in an ex parte motion. A court in Benin has said he should stay as chairman. And the same High Court back here 2 days ago says no, step aside. What's wrong with just stepping aside and allow things go? And allow the court processes go through. Would that not help the party in its getting more stable?
Okay. Step aside and watch. You give a judgment that the chairman should step aside. does that imply that anybody, these other people, will not declare themselves as the chairman? Was that what the judgment said? Or that is what has happened? Step aside. He didn't say that anybody, will you secretary or whatever you call yourself, should not declare yourself as chairman of the party. But this is what has happened.
Isn't that what did acting chairman?
What?
Until the matter.
Who is the acting chairman? I hope you are following the case very well. There is no acting chairman. He was vice chairman. On what basis will he become acting chairman? And who appointed him as acting chairman? Who?
Mr. Osuntokun, the situation in the Labour Party here, because a lot of people will say that the Labour Party, when it came on board for this election, looks like the hope of the Nigerian electorate. But with the situation in leadership, the tussle back and forth, who's in charge, who's not in charge. When you were talking, you said earlier that a clerk or a secretary brought a document before a judge, and that is what's causing this matter. That you sounded like the judge shouldn't have looked at that document that was brought before, that case that was brought before him.
Why are you deliberately modeling my position? Let me state it again.
I'm not modeling your position. It is what you said.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I said it should go on with the proceedings of the court. In other words, what was brought to him, he should go on and deliver a judgment on it. That the criminal has been brought to me. I didn't say that you are the one putting that he was the one. That was his position. That was not to ask him not to act. That's not my position. I can't ask the judge not to act. The way he now acts is left to him. It's his personal discretion. And I'm telling you that he has option. He has an option rather than the one that he took. The option that is not amenable to the kind of mischief that is now going on. What did the judgment say that you, as Mr. Vice Chairman, should declare yourself as acting chairman? I ask you, who appointed you acting chairman? Who?
So if the situation as is now, where the court has said no, a second time, stay away from the chairmanship position for now until the case before me is determined, what do you think is the best option for the Labour Party, seeing that you're pursuing a mandate at the tribunal? Are you not fighting too many battles?
It's not a mighty. Look, in any case, nobody thought it was going to be a tea party. Or understood all along, it's not a sprint, but a marathon. That is the nature everywhere in the world, that you who wants to change society for the better, you better anticipate that the system or the status quo will not let you do it in peace. This is what precisely has happened. Look, forget about Labour Party. Mr. Peter Obi and Labour Party, they are just a personification of the mood of the country, of the younger generation. So it has nothing to do. So they are there. Look, take away Peter Obi today, take away Labour Party today. That sentiment, that mood, that determination will still remain. Somebody else will become the personification of it. This is what you. How can you be blaming the victim? They ask a judge to deliver a judgment that will set it up for this kind of crisis. You can't be blaming the victim.
I'm just curious. I mean, we've seen a number of political parties suffer their own crisis. The PDP has its own internal crisis. It's dealing with APC at different levels. They're dealing with their own internal crisis. I'm just a little curious as to how the removal or the request or the order that the stepping aside of the chairman of a political party will affect the entire stability of an entire political party. Is it that already there's a matter of distrust of other members of that particular political party? Or is it that the chairman, whatever it is that he is accused of, is beyond reproach and as such must remain while the investigations are going on? Is that what you're asking?
How will you characterize what is happening to Labour Party now? Is that stability? How will you characterize it? That is what I'm referring to. It was fomented. Actually, that is the instability. What we have in Labour Party as of today is instability. It is the exact what you have just raised. That is instability. So it has affected the stability of the party. If it does not, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here asking me these questions. So it is, and I said, of course, I know that the voice is that of Jacob and the hand of Esau. So these are things that, of course, like the presidential candidate said, we are up to the task. It is the same people who are, doing this to the Labour Party, who are doing other things to undermine, the new dawn. What Labour, what Mr. Peter Obi represents for the country. So that is it. So what we have today, I don't know how to characterize this other than instability. It was foment, and that is precisely the mission.
Are you saying then, excuse me, that there is no trust for other members of the same political party, apart from the national chairman of the Labour Party? Is that what you're saying?
Look, I don't understand why we are flogging this position. By the way, it's not only the party chairman. 3 or 4 other officials of the party were named along with him.
Yes, there was a national chairman and the national secretary.
So I don't know. Look, I don't know what to say. Look, if any member of the party decides today on the basis of the judgment that was given, in fact, he has no reason to do so, to declare himself as the chairman, how does that help the party? And you have seen the consequences of that in Imo State. We have 3 or 4 other usurpers who did their own primaries, quote and unquote, led to candidates. So in effect, in the news, you now have 4 candidates. That is what it has cost in the party.
Okay, just before Lagos comes in, this quick one here. The National Executive Council of the party met in Asaba. Was an invite put out to the ones you say, like...
how can that be the case? Who will invite them?
So how would you resolve this matter if you do not invite your aggrieved members to a table to sit down and have a conversation?
If you want to be a consultant...
No, it's a question.
It's not the question doesn't arise, right? Somebody is trying to boggle your home, and then you are inviting that person to come to your home and decide for you. Somebody who has exhibited bad faith, somebody who is acting from bad faith,
but this
from a position. This is somebody
that worked with you towards the 20th
February elections. They didn't work with us for anything.
They were not part of the party for the elections?
No.
Okay, let's get to Lagos, and our colleagues say have some questions.
I should know.
Well, thank you, Nyota and Mokwe. Well, Mr. Osuntokun, just to be clear, you said the other time that the chairman should have been allowed by the court to remain in office while the processes were ongoing. Is that what you said? Just to confirm.
Please, I said it clearly. So I think you should, get what I said. I don't see how that can be confusing. Okay. I said there are options before the judge who gave the judgment. One is the one that he has given. The other is, okay, look, I'm going to, you chairman, you don't need to step aside while this is going on. I will continue with the proceedings as it is. Right? Which does not preclude the fact that that chairman may be eventually found guilty of the case that was brought to him. But for you to say that, exercise the other option of saying now that chairman should stand aside while you proceed with presiding over the judgment is another option. That option is the immediate cause of the crisis that we are in the Labour Party now. Okay. If you don't like, there is no vacuum in nature. Who asked, who removed? So this is what is being exploited. This judgment is being exploited by those who don't believe in the progress, of the stability of the party.
Well then, Mr. Osuntokun, yes, you are. But there are those who would also wonder if that's position. I mean, the judge has chosen its own, but if anyone were to go about the other option that you propose, that the chairman should remain in office, there are those who wonder, how is that different from what happened in Adamawa State? Maybe the resident electoral commissioner should have remained in office while the investigations also go on.
As they say, you stop comparing apples and oranges. How the REC has pronounced a governor the governor of a whole state. Right? You are comparing that to a party, to what is happening. I think that is a parody. You know, it doesn't merit any. They are entirely not on the same level. Not at all.
Okay.
If you leave the rec there is, first, you will be sanctioning what he has done, and he will be there to perpetrate more damage to INEC.
Is that also not a way?
That apply to the situation in the job. What is happening in the please.
Okay.
What is happening is that is within the Labour Party, not Nigeria as a whole, not the state, not any state. What is happening for the Labour Party? Not for any state, not for any Nigerian public. Okay. I hope I'm clear enough.
Yes, you are. Well, Mr. Osuntokun, isn't that also a way of the Labour Party sanctioning the action of the allegations of forgery or perjury being laid against the chairman of your party?
Oh, how do you determine, have you determined that allegation is true? How do you take a step without deciding? Okay, so somebody goes to the chairman of the Labour Party now and said that, look, I've sabotaged, I've done something wrong. The chairman then should take action against me. That's not how justice works. You have to determine whether that allegation is sufficiently proven to be the case before you act. Even though there
are documents, evidences to show that the allegations have some merit.
To you, now, are you the judge? It is for the judge to determine that, not you.
Okay. Now, you also said the other time that the person who is, my colleague described as, who called himself a factional chairman or acting chairman of your party, is the vice chairman. What does the constitution of your party say about who takes office, or what happens when the chairman of your party is not in office? Isn't there a space for acting chairman, or is that vacuum is supposed to be there?
Yeah, you have the chairman of the board of trustees who will then call for a congress or convention, which is going to happen soon anyway, to elect who will then man the position of the chairmanship of the party going forward. That is the response to it.
Well, Mr. Osuntokun, even I know that you say that there are allegations and they have not been determined by the court, but I hope that you're not discountenancing that there are allegations nonetheless. And when allegations are brought against an individual, serious as they are in this regard, with evidence, as said by Mr. Arabambi on this program, the National Secretary of your party, that they are serious and they must be considered.
Well, they are being considered by the court.
And as a result,
that's a simple answer to what you have said.
And as a result, shouldn't the national
and there has not been a determination that the allegation is correct.
And as a result,
determined by the court.
And as a result, isn't it only morally right for the national chairman to step aside while the court carries out its proceedings and investigations are being done to determine the veracity?
What is morally right? By saying that, you already imply that the chairman is guilty. If I'm not guilty of an offense, why should it be morally right for me to accept what you are telling me? I don't get it. So on the evidence, on the basis of bringing an allegation, you ask the chairman or the person to know, is that morally imperative? Is moral imperative for him to accept the pronouncement that he is guilty, to step aside?
Now,
I don't get you.
For the fractional chairman of the party, Mr. Lamidi Apapa, there are allegations also against him that he's involved in anti-party activities, and he's the voice of Jacob, as you have said earlier on the program. What are the allegations? What are the evidences that you have to prove these allegations against Mr. Apapa?
What more allegations do you have than the way he's behaving? Who appointed him acting chairman? And why should you be interested in the subversion of a party? Somebody, the interest is what he is doing. Is it in the interest of the party, in the interest of the stability of the party? How many of them? 3 of them. There was a convention in Asaba yesterday. Are you saying that 3 or 4 people coming to the TV station to announce themselves as acting chairman is small, it carries the same weight as the conference or convention of the party in Asaba yesterday? Please, I don't really, honestly.
Because the treatment that you are seeking...
I don't see it.
Because, Mr. Osuntokun, the treatment you are seeking for the embattled national chairman of your party should also be given to Mr. Papa if you do not have evidence to prove that indeed he has been involved in anti-party activity.
Look, yes. What he is doing presently is anti-party activity. Announcing yourself as acting chairman is anti-party activity. And nothing qualifies more as anti-party activity than that.
But that would seem like a redefinition of anti-party activity. Has it been identified with another political party? And what's the evidence?
Listen, I don't know what you want to decide what is anti-party. What is more anti-party than somebody usurping a position that has no, okay, who made him that? At least the one, the party chairman that you are asking was there, was elected, was there. Regardless of the accusations you are not bringing up. But this other man, who appointed him as acting chairman? And if he then goes ahead to appoint himself, how does that not qualify as anti-party activity? How?
Mr. Osuntokun, please confirm that the national chairman of your party, following that second court order ordering him to stop parading himself as a national chairman, confirmed that he sort of yielded his position to a deputy national chairman of the party.
Who is the national is the man there, Apapa? Is it deputy national?
Not Apapa now.
You see, he's not.
Is it true that he has yielded the position to another deputy national chairman of the party?
He has not yielded the position to. He has not yielded the position to anybody, and he has no reason to do so.
And is he going to do that in the coming days?
Why will he do it? In any case, look. This judgment you are talking about, if I want to use the technically, the kind of invasive things that you are saying, the courts are of equal jurisdiction.
Because I ask this...
For him to remain, please let me finish, please. The one that gave the judgment for him to remain as chairman is of equal jurisdiction with the one in Abuja that says, no, don't stop parading yourself. So I can also employ that argument if I want to.
I ask this because this was suggested by a national secretary of your party on one of our programs yesterday. And if that is true, or is part of the plan by the Labour Party as a solution to the to the leadership crisis of the party, isn't it the same objective that the factional chairman is trying to achieve? Is that what your own faction is also trying to achieve, to sort of give Mr. Julius Saburi a soft landing amid the allegations that have been leveled against him?
I don't know what's the point you are trying to make. There is no equivalence between the so-called factional chairman, between that and the national chairman, the substantive national. There is no equivalence at all. All right? The person is he appointed himself as acting chairman. How do you equate that with that of Aburi? So there is no equivalence between the two. It's like you are accepting the argument of those who come to your house to burgle your house, to violate your presence. Is that accepting his position is taking. Clearly, that is not logical.
Well, Mr. Osuntokun, apparently there have been a number of issues. I mean, as you have also agreed, there is some internal crisis in the party, which led to 4 governorship candidates.
I did not accept that there is an internal crisis. It is an crisis fomented by those who are interested in. In any case, look, the Labour Party candidate in Imo State has come through the primaries and he has been elected as the flag bearer of the party.
But there are 4 of them. Are you aware of that?
So no, not 4 of them. So stop pretending as if you don't know what is going on. Okay, what is the local standard of the 4? One is in the public place claiming to be acting chairman. The other 2, nobody has had anything, I've not had anything of them before. I mean, that is the truth. The party candidate has already been selected. Assuming I want to take you on your position, it is only one of them, for instance, that has gone to. The other 2, I don't know them. I've not heard of them before.
I wanted to ask you quickly, do you want to comment on the situation in Ebonyi State, the controversy that emanated over the emergence of a Labour Party governorship candidate in Ebonyi State, which seems to be where all of this controversy has emanated from? Are you aware of it?
Emanated? Which crisis emanated from?
The case, the case of the governorship candidate who went to court in Ebonyi State. He alleged that he had not withdrawn his nomination from INEC.
I'm not aware of it. That's the short answer to that.
So you're not aware of the basis upon which this forgery allegations have come up because
in Ebonyi too?
In Ebonyi, yes, in Ebonyi.
In the same case?
The same case.
Okay, so I've already made my position known on that. And there's no point repeating it. What I've said is that, look, assuming but not conceding that forgery is what is before the court. The court is treating it as an allegation. An accused is deemed innocent until otherwise proven by the court. So, as we speak, Abure is innocent, is presumed innocent until any court determines that he is guilty. That is what I'm saying.
Thank you very much. Dr. Akin Osuntokun is the DG, Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, and he's been sharing his thoughts with us. Thank you this morning.
Thank you very much.